Damn,
that's how it became a trillionaire.
That's what happens at the next trailer for the next Avengers trailer. That's crazy. That's what happens.
Yeah.
We should really do we explain this to listeners?
No,
no,
never.
It's the worst bit we ever do.
Yeah, it's just for us. So selfish. It's just for us.
Inside joke. So like when we're recording, before Marcel presses the magic button to start recording, it like we are talking, we're catching up, and then Marcel presses the button, but it cuts us all off from each other, so we can't hear. We just see a countdown, and then we come back and act like we were in the middle of saying something.
And it turned into this bit because there were times where like Marcel would just rudely do it, and all of us.
Obviously.
And we're in the middle of a conversation. We're in the middle of saying something, and then it just cuts us off.
And then so Marcel finally started to give us warning, which turned into this bit of, wait, before you press it, I have something super important to say. So I apologize to the listeners for our incredibly selfish inside joke.
That's really lasted the whole time.
Yeah.
The
it took us 112 episodes to
Critical Role does it actually all the time. Like literally just before they record, they say the most nasty, vile, swear word induced like things to Matt Mercer every time he's just about to start an episode, and then they cut off as soon as he starts recording,
and then he's just like looking off to the sky like, how did I end up here? And then say, welcome back everyone.
I can believe that because I've seen the stuff that happens in Dispatch, so I can see they're filthy. So I'm just saying. Steve 26, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited that we're all here finally.
Everyone, right?
That was a special occasion, closing out the year, doing some game of the year stuff. I'm jazzed about this.
You know, we were all here 12 episodes ago, right?
Hands any moment. He's so jazzed about it.
You know, 12 episodes we were all here.
Those are jazz hands.
The same.
12 episodes? That's like 4 weeks.
Yeah, but that's like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago. Steve, you were runner-up, but Steve of the Year, congratulations! You won the Best Steve Award. Congrats!
Thank you.
How are you doing?
You know what? I like to thank my fellow Steves for we all did great. All our Steves did great work. It was a tough year, and I'm just happy to be able to be here. So amongst these amazing Steves. Anyway, no, I'm doing good. I'm excited to reveal our Game of the Year list. This is one of my favorite things I get to do for the show every year, and because I just love seeing like what everyone voted secretly and then just putting like points and stuff and arranging it and getting to reveal it all to you of what our official gaming podcast Game of the Year is. It's our top 5 list, and it's a lot of fun. So I had a lot of fun just basically building this all up while also spending time with my family. So yeah, did that.
I want to see who screwed up the list. Who screwed up the list?
Probably me.
I don't see Steve 26 saying
that's how you runner up.
Oh yeah, you know what? It was totally Steve V. Put like power washer.
I absolutely bungled the list.
No, this one is going to be mangled.
I'm looking forward to
it. There was a particular moment where I did have to clarify something with Steve before I put together the full list.
And that is exactly why Steve 26 is not Steve of the Year.
Yeah, this is why you're runner up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'll try again next year. But.
Yeah. No, I actually I won't reveal it just yet, but I actually had to ask him. It's like, was this on purpose or is this by accident?
We'll talk about when we get there, but it was a funny little moment.
Yeah, it was great.
Sammy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on like the actual podcast, so it's good to be back. I've obviously with Marcel and Steve been doing some Fallout stuff and been enjoying that. And besides that, work, holidays, it's been busy, but I think this is my favorite pod of the year probably, so I'm excited for this one.
Awesome. Riley, congratulations. You won an award as well, Rally of the Year.
No, he didn't. Yeah, that was a self-awarded award. It doesn't count. No one cares about Riley.
Finally getting what I deserve.
The trophy was actually just from like some store. It was actually just a soccer award or something like that.
Yeah, I know,
yeah. Hey, I mean, mine's saying different. Mine's a bowling trophy, so,
No, I'm just excited to see this list because I think it's going to be wacky based on the build up to this. So
best writing Power Washer Simulator.
Maybe.
Now, did you guys do it like? Were you thinking, oh, Steve might put this in this position, but I really want this to get a placement? Like, did you guys?
No, I didn't. I didn't think that way at all. Like, I was just like, these are my personal ones, and we'll see. There's no politics. I didn't try to front run anything. It just I tiered it the way I saw it. And I hope everyone did, but
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, see, that's exactly why Steve 26 didn't get Steve of the Year.
Yeah. These guys playing like a secret chat room together. Like, where are you to put?
Yeah.
Caboose, how you doing?
I'm doing good. We have been getting several weeks worth of Avengers trailers, which has been exciting.
You've been eating good.
We've been eating good.
Yeah.
Especially the latest one that's not out officially, but we all
really
saw
helping Avatar because their games blew up, so Ubisoft's happy.
You know what? Yeah, actually, that is crazy. Honestly, kind of a genius move to release that DLC in the third-person mode around the exact same time as this movie. Because, wow, what wonders it has done for that game.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, lots of exciting things happening for the holidays, which is awesome. And hopefully that leads into the new year. I'm just excited to get into 2026. It'll be the year that Wolverine comes out. We'll be that much closer.
Your GTA 6. Fingers crossed.
6.
Imagine if Doomsday releases GTA 6. That would be
the battle of That'd be wild.
If they push out GTA for a couple more weeks, then it's going to be a real fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting to the new year because there's so many things happening in 2026 that we can look forward to.
Yeah. Camille, how about you?
Oh man, I've been eating. Do you guys have like a candy plate for the holidays that you put out, or like chocolate plate, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
snacks?
My mom does, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Steven. I'm totally.
My mom does baked goods.
Right
No,
now,
I was like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Chocolate orange elite. That is
Really?
Oh yeah, like
chocolate.
Hershey's Kisses,
I like
chocolate
those.
jujubes, like
so the orange chocolate, orange whatever it is, that commercial growing up as a kid was so misleading. I thought I could just hit something and it'd break apart. And it tastes horrible. But anyways, what I'm really talking about is the score.
Muter.
You have a lot of bad takes, and that might be the worst one.
I agree. I think
Carrie's chocolate oranges are elite.
Bad taste.
No, it kind of
It's not
sucks.
the worst, but it ain't like the best. It's like it's okay.
No, it's not just okay.
It's bad.
It's just not.
Oh my gosh. Well, the score one probably outdoes it because the score one is so good.
Score good.
So I've been chomping on these nonstop throughout my day, loaded up on sugar for the holidays, and playing a lot of Tetris.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I have something to address here. I'm glad all of us are here. There's a little intervention here. Steve Vigvari was on CP24 yesterday. Congratulations.
Let's go.
Okay, that's enough because he had the nerve to mention that Nintendo had a great year with Mario Kart World.
That's right.
And Donkey Kong Bonanza, which Riley, you and I know where he is in Bonanza. He does not finish that game.
He actually went and finished it. He actually finished it.
When was this?
Yeah, he actually did.
None of you guys saw what I saw this year, okay? I don't want nobody in this panel to talk about Bonanza because all of you did not see the vision. All right? I saw the vision.
I believe.
I was day one.
It was gonna be good.
I was day one.
Like how he was day one Death Stranding. Like he was day one Death Stranding.
Oh, I've loved since the beginning.
We need to insert the clip of Caboose talking shit about it now.
Listen, the first one sucks.
Multiple clips.
The first one sucks. The second one is incredible.
But going back to your point, Marcel.
What's going on? I'm surprised. I didn't know. I retract my statement.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Riley and I had a bet that if I didn't beat it by Boxing Day, he would spoil the ending. And I said to him, once Claire Obscure was off my desk, I was going to sit down. And I beat it over the course of, I think, 2 days, maybe 3 days. And that game ends very strong. Very strong.
What a nerd. She's inhaling a score right now.
Now, wait, Riley, have you finished Expedition 33?
Yeah, no, Riley, because he's the loser.
I have not.
No.
What a nerd.
Oh, where did you get that?
I got for Christmas. My mom got for me. I'm like,
whoa, oh wait, I was blinking. What just happened?
She has an SK.
That's
really nice.
Your mom got that?
Yeah.
That is crazy. Like,
that's
good,
cool.
like gift giving, like knowing what that person wants.
That was real good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was really good.
You know what's funny though?
No.
It's funny how Claire, like Expedition 33 is just so good, but a lot of people I find that are like more casual gamers have never heard of the game. Like,
oh yeah, I was telling my brother about it during the holidays. He's like, I don't know what that is. I'm like,
I'm like, how do you not know? How do you know?
It? Well, it's this game, but maybe it's like French, but it's not, and it's like there's like people disappear at a certain age. It's like,
yeah, even Steve, when you were trying to describe it on CP24, I was like, oh no, he has to explain Expedition 33 to ignore me.
What was that? And Death Stranding.
Oh my god,
the best part. Death Stranding was the best part.
So
She's like,
there's a
I don't
beach.
like gruesome games. I'm like,
What?
So think about the most confusing thing of all time.
Yeah.
No, just imagine like some like totally normal non-gaming person turns on the news, sees Steve, and he's like, all right, so Die Hard Man used to be the president, but he's not anymore.
Die Hard Man? Wait, John McClane? Are we talking same dude?
Imagine taking the worst melatonin you've ever had in your life. That's Death Stranding too.
Pretty much. Well, you know what? Let's see where it lands on our list. Good segue over. Steve, are you ready?
I am ready. Let me just start. Oh, I understand. Yes, let's proceed. Window. Okay, I want.
Oh, you're talking to your computer. Okay, cool.
I am talking to my computer. Yeah, here we go.
Like,
all right.
You look like you tell us, man.
There we go.
We finally got a picture on me there, everybody.
Okay. Also, backstory. You know, Steve, how you're below me. I got a face full of snow.
I had so much fake snow in my hair.
There was a good still of Marcel, like someone threw snow up, and it was just all in his face.
His idea was to throw this snow that multiple people probably walked on.
It was the people taking the photographs. So they wanted us, to put up the snow, and I was like, okay, whatever.
I may have thrown a
Somebody
big
picked up
ball
a
of snow
back down on the ground.
I mean, here's the thing. I was actually tempted to be able to put the picture where it just covers Marcel's face to kind of keep that sort of we never get Marcel in photo alive.
You never know, it's me.
But I didn't. I didn't.
Finally made it.
You finally made it. Last year it was Riley that couldn't make it into the photo, but this year we finally got everybody. So there we go.
3 years to do this. That's crazy.
3 years it took us. Yeah. So before we kind of get started, we would like to explain kind of how to listeners how we come across this. This is our top 5 game of the year list, and the way we set it up is that we would put together our own personal top 5, and we put it in order from number 1 being our most favorite of the year to number 5, and each position that a game is in will get a certain amount of points. So if you put it at number 1, you get 5 points. If you put it in number 4, you put it in number 2, you get 4 points. Number 3, you get 3. Number 2, you get 2, and 1, you get 1. And it allows us to be able to kind of try to be able to get a more eclectic kind of list together. And I don't know, we may want to change it for next year because this year was kind of interesting when it came to the list, and as you'll eventually see. But I put it all together myself. I put together my list before anyone else is submitted, so that way I'm not influenced by anyone else's list, just to let everyone know. Full disclaimer, blah, 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 blah.
What Steve is trying to say is he brings the organization to our madness.
Mm-hmm. Basically, yeah. I will say kind of some fun little stats here. Out of a possible... if everyone had chosen it like 35 individual games, because that's how many would have been 5 out of 7 of us, the people submitted 16 games to our list this year, which was the exact same amount as last year's list.
Look at us being consistent.
The year before we had 21 games on our list, like 21 individual games that we submitted.
Okay.
So we're
facts. Nice. Nice.
we're doing okay. We're doing okay.
Well,
Just
the year before 2023, right?
That
was
was
a stack.
That was a stack.
It was a very
Yeah.
stacked years. Yeah. So, and I won't sort of spoil kind of like the positions or where they are, but I will say when we get into sort of the near the number one of the list, that's where kind of the numbers start to kind of fluctuate just a tiny bit. But we'll get to that when we come. So, are we all ready to be able to see what our top 5 game of the year is for 2025?
Are we gonna have any honorable mentions?
Oh yeah, do we want to do many well,
let's do it at the end.
Yeah. Because I will admit, there was a counting error because I always like triple quadruple check the numbers before I do this, and in my quadruple check I found that basically there was one game that that actually had one additional vote that I did not count for, and basically kind of changed around the entire list. So hopefully you'll get this all worked out. But they spent the past hour before we started recording.
It's smartwatch. I know it is.
So is there any game that you like? I'll ask you all as a group. Is there any game that you don't think made the list that out of potential ones that we submitted?
Ghost of Yotei.
Wonderstop.
Yeah, probably.
Wonderstop. Sure.
I would say
Wonderstop for sure. Yeah.
In the top 5, you're saying like, is there any game that didn't make the top 5 game of the year?
That didn't make it. That didn't have enough points to be able to make the top 5. You don't have to spoil if you don't want to spoil the what you submitted. That's totally fine. But you think there's any game that you think like might be a shock that people might not see in our top 5?
Ghost.
I'm gonna say Death Stranding 2. I'm throwing it out there. I'm putting my head on that one.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. All right. Maybe. Are we all ready to see what our list is?
Ready to go?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. Here we go. Starting to play here. There we go. Number 5. World. We have South of Midnight.
Wow, that's surprising.
That is actually surprising.
Wow.
And it's honestly because of me, because I put that as my number 1 game.
All right.
Wow.
So Steve, why was it your number 1?
The reason why I thought South of Midnight was my number 1, I kind of I tried to be able to combine my accessibility thoughts as well as just sort of my overall thoughts on the games I played this year, because there was some games that I played that I enjoyed that didn't have a lot of great accessibility, but this one really surprised me, not only because it was accessible, but it didn't have everything that I wanted, but it was still a very well made accessible game from a small studio, Compulsion Games out of Montreal. But what I loved about this was the lore and the world that this game set up of a lot of folktales from the American South, and combined it into this magical world that basically you're thrown in, and it just the music was outstanding. I had the soundtrack on for weeks after I played this game, because it was just so damn good. Two-Toed Tom was number 1 on my list for I wish it showed up in my Spotify Wrapped, but it didn't this year, which I was kind of disappointed about. But the platforming I thought was a lot of fun. The combat, it wasn't super sort of did anything different. It kind of was a lot of people kind of commented on this, and a lot of people's reviews of it was kind of very basic in that sense, but I enjoyed it for what it was. But also, again, talking about the accessibility, the game allowed you to be able to skip combat altogether, and you can just enjoy the platforming or the story in and of itself. I thought that the voice acting was fantastic. We got Ahmed Best playing a major character in this, and Jar Jar Binks himself basically got to be in this, and he also voice directed the game too. So you could tell that there was a lot of love and care put into this world in this game, that I really do hope that they're going to make either a DLC or at least a sequel, because I would love to see more of what this world is and how you kind of develop from here on out, because there's a lot of meat to that bones of just a lot of what's the stuff they could be able to tap into, and I really want to see it happen.
It's a pretty game. I admittedly I hadn't played the full game. I did get an early hands-on with it, and I remember being really impressed with the presentation. The visuals were awesome. I loved the atmosphere and the whole vibe that they were going for. Like you said as well, Steve, the music I thought was incredible. There was like one aspect of the story that I was experiencing about this like man stuck to the tree, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, and I was like, man, it's like this is heartbreaking. For me though, it was like this thing of there's some really, really high highs, but there are also some low lows. Like I thought that the combat was a bit formulaic. I thought the enemy variety was just not really there for me. Sure. But I'm not gonna knock this game making the top 5. It is a very unique game out of everything that's come out throughout all of this year.
Yep. And coming to PlayStation and Switch this spring. So
that's true. Right. I will gladly play this again on the Switch too, because I would love to see how this game plays.
Perfect kind of game for a Switch.
This is a good Switch game.
Yeah. Any other thoughts of South of Midnight before we move on?
I've admittedly not played it yet, but I'm good. As soon as it's out for a Switch, like this has been on my list. I just haven't been able to get to it.
It's a quick game. Like you can get this done in like between 10 and 15 hours. So it's a very nice kind of pick up and play over like like a day or two and be able to fully enjoy it. So I highly recommend it.
Great storytelling with a lot of Southern folk tale as well. So
exactly. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. And moving on. Here we go. Also tied for number 5, we have Split Fiction from Hazelight Studios. Actually, Marcel, you had this at the highest on your list at number 3. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you liked about Split Fiction?
Actually, I will pass it to Sammy because she was the lead reviewer for this one. So I'm going to quick assist that, Sammy.
I mean, I really like what Hazelight Studios doing. I was a huge fan of It Takes Two. So as soon as this came out, this is one game like me and my husband spent a lot of time playing together. And like sometimes it's hard getting that couple game going that like you and your spouse could play without tearing each other apart too. And like this, we loved it. The storytelling, while, you know, sometimes not as complex or not as endearing as It Takes Two, I still had a lot of fun with this. I love getting to jump around with all these different genres, these different play styles. It gave me like a little taste of everything, and it made me really happy overall.
Yeah, it had a great like variety of just you think like It Takes Two was like, okay, there was like a fighting game moment, there was like a party game moment, there was a sled moment. Like they went to like the extreme with this game, and they
the
really
last
blew
sequence.
Yeah, absolutely amazing with this game, and it was especially showing different variety of like sci-fi tech and like medieval times, like the themes, like it was a really well done.
Well, that's the thing, like they threw
the hot
in some
dogs.
wild
Oh my
things
God.
that you never even would imagine, like the hot dogs and like how you could actually burn yourself. Like it was just it was just really cool. I loved Split Fiction as well. I don't think I put it on my list though, just because there were some moments in Split Fiction that I did feel like, okay, this needs to pick up for me a bit, just because the gameplay wasn't more complex, but it was perfect, like couch co-op game for Adam and myself. And also the fact that it was really like holding that flag for couch co-op and saying like these games are needed and still wanting to be like played, as you cannot play this game alone. You have to play couch co-op or online co-op with someone else. So.
And Friend Pass for free, right?
I love that they did that for this.
Yeah. Very consumer friendly.
Camille, you didn't find the hacking the cell phone while driving a motorcycle scene complex enough?
No, but there were
just images and everything.
There was some really great gameplay and like some great puzzles, but it was just like sometimes it took me a while to get to those moments where it's like in between it was like, okay, you're kind of doing something that feels like it's early 2000s, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, the cell phone hacking while also doing something else, they're going to have that's practice for Pragmata apparently when it comes out next year. So we're going to have that hacking to a mini game. Cool. Anyone else have thoughts of Split Fiction before we move on?
Just the poor elephant there's no escape for that poor elephant. He gets also abused in this game as well. So
okay.
You know, you reap what you sow, you know?
Yeah, you know.
Okay. All right. Moving on. There we go. To number 4. Thank you. Appreciate it. And number 4 is Wonderstop. So, Sammy, you also had this as your number 3 game, and I also had this in my list as well at number 3. But Sammy, why don't you tell us like what you loved about Wonderstop?
Oh gosh, as someone who suffers with like internal anxiety and stuff that like I don't talk about a lot, this game just kind of called me out in like a really good way and kind of like forced you to relax, which like a lot of the time I'm like, no, I gotta keep moving forward. Like I gotta do this. And this game was very much like, no, you're gonna calm the F down and just do this. And I'm like, all right, I liked what the game had to say. I loved the characters. Obviously, the gameplay within itself is pretty simple in its complexity. But I just enjoyed the journey. It was a peaceful, but also very irritating, but also very beautiful journey.
I felt the exact same way. Like in a game that, or like in a world where basically we're just we're either told that it's better to hustle and just keep working, and because you know the harder you work, the better your life will be. To be able to like have a game that basically forces you to stop and just relax and make yourself a cup of tea is something that I did not think that I needed nor needed to learn from then when I started playing this game. Because I'll admit I got like this really lovely PR box from the studio where they gave you like an amazing like teacup and a bunch of tea that was inspired by the game itself. And it gave you like a tea sort of cookbook and notes and like notebook and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's kind of that's pretty sweet. Actually, I thought it was kind of a really cool sort of PR package. And then like I didn't think nothing of it when I started playing the game. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this for review and what have you. And it just like that message of just, you know, need to chill and relax. Like that hit me like a freight train. And just I was like, okay, I will spend the time. Like one of my favorite parts was I would grab a cup of tea and then I would sit on one of the benches that's near your little tea shop that's in this middle of this magical sort of glen area in this forest. And I would just sit there and just, you know, and I would also have a cup of tea and I would just be like, this is kind of like my chill little lo-fi kind of like a relaxing moment. And as much as I said, like the South of Midnight soundtrack, which didn't end up on my Spotify Wrapped, the theme song for Wonderstop was actually my most played song of the year on Spotify, because every time I heard it come up on my playlist, I just had to like listen to the whole thing because it's so good. So good. I highly recommend it if you just want a nice, chill, like wholesome game that has a really cool little story to it as well. I would definitely recommend this to folks. So, did anyone else get a chance to play this, or
I haven't had the chance to play this yet. No.
Yeah, I it was on the fringes of my top 5, like close 6 or 7. I really love the message. I love the art style. The music is great, and yeah, it's just one of those relaxing games with a great message. And yeah, I recommend it to a lot of people. Actually, this game, it's really, really cool. And a surprise game too. Like I had no expectations for this going into it. And I was like, wow, this game was very compelling in some ways for being a tea making game.
Yep. I think that's what it was advertised. I think the trailer actually did something different that I appreciated. That it could have been just advertising as a cozy game. It's like, oh, you get to run a little tea shop in this forest. Right. But when they showed the trailer of like there's a story to it, and there's more to it than just that, I was like, oh, okay, that's what piqued my interest. And then when the code came along to be able to review it, I was just like, okay, I'm really excited for this, and it just blew me away. I really did I didn't just try to breeze through it just for the review. I really did try to be able to like just play it the whole way through and just kind of take my time with it. So yeah, cool. All right. Well, moving on from here, from Wonderstop by Ivy Road as our number 4, we have another game tied for number 4.
World premiere.
What's up?
Our Raiders.
I was waiting for this.
So Stevie V, Stevie 26, you had this as your number 2 game. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why Arc Raiders is on your list?
I think it's just one of the most surprising multiplayer games I've played in years. Honestly, yeah. For someone who's never been into extraction shooters all that much, I came in with this with the lowest of low expectations. I thought, hey, I've seen a couple people talking about this in the early days when this was first coming out after its early access. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, see how it is, start playing some solo runs. And then next thing you know, it's, 1 a.m. and I'm still playing solo runs. And that continued.
Free loadout Salamantis?
Yeah. One more.
All right, you got me. I'll do one more.
And then it starts like, it just compiles where it's like, okay, now I'm in the subreddit. Now my TikTok algorithm is all art graders, and now I'm just like so deep into it, but it keeps bringing me back. I think it's had some substantial updates to the game over the 3 months that it's been out. Like the last one that just happened this month has been one of the coolest ones, and I think it just really does invite a lot of people into an extraction shooter. It's got a very compelling gameplay loop. I think it's accessible in terms of it being for, hardcore extraction shooter players or people who just want to go out, complete some missions, go out and find some items and feel like they're progressing in the game in a meaningful way. It doesn't really punish you all that much, even in the worst throes of it, where I feel like, oh man, I'm either dying from other players in the odd case, or I'm dying from some of the, the arcs and everything. I don't ever feel like, man, like, why am I even playing this? Because like the next round, even if I'm just out there trying to find a couple guns or some healing items, I'm coming back and feeling like I'm actually progressing in this game. And I think that's something that's kind of been lost now with multiplayer games, where it's too competitive, or it requires you to always have, your group of friends signing online with you and everything. And I think for someone, within our age demographic, having a group of dedicated people signing in every day is like tough. So while I do have those nights where I'm like getting online with my friends and everything, there are the times where I'm like, I'm just winding down for the night. Maybe I'll play a raid or two by myself. And like, it perfectly balances out in such a beautiful way. And I think, Embark has done a phenomenal job from, the gameplay, the sound design in this game is unmatched in my opinion. It's absolutely nuts. It's a game that I just keep coming back to, and I don't think I'm going to be stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I was, and it's funny because they had this whole system of doing the expedition and wiping everything from your inventory, basically starting back from square one.
It's like a prestige mode.
Of a prestige, yeah. And to be honest, what I had heard is games like Escape from Tarkov or other sort of games of this style, these extraction shooters, they just do a system-wide wipe where they say, on this day, everyone's stuff gets wiped completely. You all start from square one. Whereas in this game, it was more like a choose to do this on your own and know that there are some things you're going to have to do all over again. And it's funny, I did it. I did the expedition. It wiped all my loot. And there was a moment for just a split second where I was like, damn, I kind of miss all my stuff. And then I jumped into a raid and I got some good guns. And I was like, yep, we're back in. Yep, I'm right back in. Yeah. I literally understand the entire point of why I just did that is because now I'm in the loop again. I'm in that, like, I need to play. I need to get more loot. I need to get these things to craft some of my workbenches, to level up my workbenches. I need to get blueprints to unlock stuff that I can start crafting for my raids. Like it is such a good game. I'm like you, Steve. I didn't play a lot of extraction shooters. They didn't entice me at all. And it was only just by the sheer amount of people around me telling me to play this that I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I am absolutely hooked. I have not put it down since it's come out. I mean, hold on. Let me look at my Steam. I'm coming in on 200 hours with this game.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah.
So, I'm hooked. I am hooked.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it does such a wonderful job of, like you said, making you feel like it's inconsequential no matter like what the kind of loadout. You can go in with like a level 4 Ven, like fully kitted out with all your attachments and everything, and feel like you've accomplished something. But then at the same time, if you die, it's like, okay, well, I'll just roll again. I'll do a free loadout, whatever, low stakes, find some gold loot or some high rares and everything, and you're like, oh hell yeah, I'm right back into this.
And like the social aspect of it too, like jumping on the mic, talking to somebody in proximity chat, whether it's to say, hey, I'm friendly, let's team up, like I'm just trying to take out Ark, or whether it's to
trolling.
taunt somebody or mess with somebody, right? Like there's so many funny moments that come out of just jumping on the mic and talking to the people that you're interacting with in that space. And it's such a unique experience to anything else I've ever played.
And I think it's something that, and I mean, we've talked about it almost ad nauseum whenever this game comes up, but the social aspect and how the community has treated this game and everything, like the fact that you can be in an area where the queen or a high level like Arc is attacking players and you can meet up with a ton of randoms and everyone's like, no, fuck it, we're going after this giant
Everyone
thing.
just kind of unanimously decides we're not shooting at each other. We're shooting at that.
We're shooting at that enemy right there and we're going to loot it. And it's so cool. Like, it's so cool and something that you just do not see anymore from like games as a whole. Like the Call of Duties, the Apex, the Fortnite, like, everyone is so like toxic unless you're in with your like in group, your friends, the people that you jump on with. I can't remember the last time I've jumped on with complete randoms and felt like there's like camaraderie in there. And I think that's something like really, really unique for a game in 2025.
And how dare you, Game Awards, for not even nominating this game for audio design, because it should have won for audio design this year. The audio is incredible in the game. Every time, even just hearing one of those roly-poly robots, I just hear them go, I'm like, where the hell is it? Where? Like, I'm so on edge. But even just like the sounds of the guns, the reloads, like all that, there is incredible audio design in this game. And for me, for somebody who plays a lot of competitive shooters, this definitely has one of the best. I hear footsteps and I know where they are.
Yeah. I was about to say,
I actually know.
Call of Duty should be ashamed that they do not have directional audio like Arc Raiders.
Call of Duty, he's above you. He's beside you. He's behind you. Like, it's just all the same. I can't differentiate when I'm hearing things in Call of Duty, but this game, it's like I hear the footsteps. I know the like precise location.
Even levels like horizontal and vertical. Like it's
really impressive. Yeah. It's really
Doesn't
impressive.
COD have like premium price audio as well? You gotta pay like $5 for it.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
I have no comment on that one.
All right.
I tried. Anyway, anyone else have any thoughts about Arc Raiders before moving on?
I'm not surprised to see it here. Most my Steam list is just people popping up Arc Raiders. So I'm not surprised to see it here.
If Shroud ever sees this, he's just gonna have a fist in the air and be proud of us. That's all I know.
That's right. Yeah.
My introduction to the burnt peanut has all been literally Arc Raiders.
My feed is all burnt peanut.
I think I might get addicted to going for the goop. So I think I might need to jump into this one.
Let's jump in together. But it's gonna be interesting because you see things like Helldivers, which is completely different, but you have Arc Raiders now. I'm curious to its longevity going into 2026 and hoping that it just keeps up the momentum because it is something so refreshing that I think FPS fans just need right now.
Cool. All right. That being said, let's move on to our next game, which is tied for another number 4. And that's Doom: The Dark Ages. So this one, it was my number 2 game of the year.
Accessibility of the year winner right here.
That's true.
Shout out to Steve of the year right here.
Yes, full disclosure, I did work on this game. I absolutely had a blast working on it then, and had a blast even playing it when I got my hands on the final version. It brought me into finally the reboot of Doom that I would see everyone else play, like going back to the reboot of 2016, even going into Eternal. I couldn't play it for the life of me. I really did try, but to be able to, from the accessibility side, to hear like the game director Hugo basically say like for Eternal he wanted to make the Souls-like for first-person shooters, to go from that to literally change his mind to a Doom for all Slayers was something that I was very happy just for my own accessibility experiences to see. But this game is also, it opens up the Doom universe into a much larger way. It kind of creates a little bit of like like the zones that you see in the levels are a little bit more open. There's some very challenging enemies in there too, and it really fills out the lore of the Doomslayer. Like really, like it kind of like it's a prequel. It's a prequel, so it basically explains kind of what the who you are as the Slayer, basically kind of like, and what the story that's all around it. And it's got proper, like, it's got instead of like reading codexes in the previous games, you actually have like full blown cinematics with that. So that really helped kind of with the story.
And pardon my language, it is heavy metal as fuck. This game is absolutely so damn cool. Like, it is. Yeah. I think it was Steve V who said it when we reviewed this earlier in the year. It is a video game ass video game. It is. It's so much fun. I know there are a lot of people who are like hardcore Doom fans that were a little against it simply for like, it does slow the pace down quite a bit from Eternal. But that for me, like, it really works. And what's so great about it is if you want it to be cranked up to 200%, you can do that. If you want it to be even slower to match like your sort of play style, or even just to help you out a little bit, that's something that is available to you. Like, you can, it's id Software themselves who tweeted out once that you control the buttons you press, you know, like this is the game. It's in your hands. Play it how you want it. I think that is so cool. There's so much freedom in the way that you can experience this game. And it's just so much fun. Like, it's just that opening cutscene when Doomslayer lands, looks up, and the title card pops up. It is so good. It is
chills
so
every
good.
time I see it. It's so
from the
so great.
moment that happened, I'm like, I'm playing this the entire night, the entire weekend. I'm not putting this down. And yeah, it was so much fun. Crazy ass boss battles and like insane things that you can do. You're riding dragons in this one. You're fighting in mechs. I will admit there are some things like, the mechs or the dragon stuff it's not as good as the core gameplay, but
it's nice. So it breaks up the combat a little bit, which is nice.
And it's just a really, really, really fun game.
Yeah, and it's something basically that it evolved the Doom franchise, but like even more by adding in a freaking shield. That shield is so damn satisfying. Fun. It's satisfying every time you throw it, every time you block a projectile with it. The sound design is so. Oh God, it's so crunchy. It's like that's what the sound is. It's very crunchy, which is so satisfying. And you're absolutely right, Aaron. Like basically that like so funny kind of like when I was playtesting this at id Software, which by the way, like one of the coolest studios I've ever been to, has like so many like props of Doom history, including the original shotgun that they used to model the original game with when they for motion capture. But it was like that was the only scene that they actually had like the proper music and cinematics for. So it was just so satisfying. Exactly as you said, like drop down, looks towards camera, and the title screen hits with the music. So good, so good. I love this game, and I never was a Doom fan really before, and playing this, it was just like, this is the Doom game for me. That it's just so much for damn fun.
For sure.
Yeah, to see someone just full of rage of just wanting to kill demons, and you're like, give him a mech. You're like, this was a fun ride. This game for sure. So
that was one thing I loved about it too, is that you really felt like a tank as Doomslayer, because they brought back the horizontal sort of gameplay that the original Doom game was. Whereas like the previous games, you were jumping all over on different platforms with Eternal. Like it was very like vertical when it comes to the combat, but this was just like you're solid. You're on the ground. You're a tank. You're strafing left and right, just avoiding all the projectiles, and all the enemies are coming at you. And it really kind of create this little like ballet dance of horror as you're just going through these little arenas of combat as you cut demons' heads off with a vengeance. So it's definitely one of my favorite games of this year for sure. So anyone else any thoughts of Doom before moving on?
Video game.
Video ass video game, 100%. Cool. All right, moving on to our number 3 game, which is Ghost of Yotei by Sucker Punch. Yeah, and I will. Let's see, who do I? Actually, so yeah, let's Caboose. Why don't you talk to us about it? Because you had it high on your list. You're at a number 3. Yep. But yeah, explain to us why you love Ghost of Yotei out of this, that's in this list.
I mean, like for me, just going back to Tsushima, I've always said it was a game where I saw the trailers and I was like, it looks all right. I'm not sure if this is something I'm gonna like put too much time into. And then I got a code for it, so I was like, I'm just gonna give it a go. And I fell in love. I fell in love with the world. I fell in love with the characters, and obviously the visuals were on another level. It's such a beautiful looking game, and really pushed the power of the PS4 at the time to its limits, I feel. And then going into Yotei, it took a lot of those things that I loved and amplified them. I will say, I think the story is weaker than Tsushima, but there's still a lot that I really, really do enjoy, and the combat is phenomenal. And the world, one thing that I will give Sucker Punch credit for is there is so much to explore in Yotei, and so many random little encounters that you'll run into, and a lot of them you wouldn't even know and are surprised by the fact that they help advance your progression in the story. Sometimes you're doing this little side mission from running into somebody while riding on your horse, and it ends up with you going, hey, do you know anything about this member from the Yotei 6? And they give you like some key information to help you progress in the story. And there's so many people on the Reddit who have posted as well that just that transition from Act 1 to 2 sometimes can take up an entire game's story length because of how much you can explore and how much you can do before you even get to like some of the different biomes. And it is a very rich world. There's so much to explore, and it's so beautiful. It's probably the best photo mode I've experienced or played around with in a video game. I went crazy with the photos on this one.
Yeah,
the customization. Yeah. The customization, the combat definitely got an upgrade too with the different weapon types. I really dug what Sucker Punch has done here. I wouldn't be against them revisiting this one last time to give us like a trilogy of 3 different characters in 3 different areas and stuff like that. But I'm just looking forward to Legends in 2026 now.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to jumping into that multiplayer mode.
Yeah. Riley, you also had this as your number 3. Why don't you talk about
it? Yeah. I really liked it. I think what I'm learning is that Sucker Punch is really becoming the master of like an open world setting. Like,
yeah,
they're definitely like in the top 3 at least in terms of studios that can pull it off well. And the cool thing about it was, Caboose kind of touched on it, like some of the little stories that pop up, I actually found like more engaging than the core story at times.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like really great little side missions, and one of them even like shifts up the genre into more of a horror style, which is like really interesting. So I like those kind of stylistic and tonal shifts that not just because they're present, but because they're done so well.
Mm-hmm.
So like the fact that you can play this game, go into like a spaghetti western type of like revenge story, and then get into you're going through a Japanese horror film essentially. I'm like, this is really cool. Like, and I think that what they've done with this is a really nice step forward from the previous one. I agree that I think the story was better in the first one, but this was like a nice way for them to flex their muscles a bit. And I think the end result was just like, I really enjoyed this game. I got the platinum, and I can't recommend it enough. I think it was really awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Anyone else have any thoughts on Yotei?
Was it just me and Riley who had it in who else had it in their list?
No, actually, Camille had it in her list
as well.
Nice.
Like, being a Ghost fan previously, like you, I kind of was like, okay, I didn't expect much of Yotei, but it did meet a lot of my expectations. I do think the first one was better. However, it's still beautiful. It's still like great time. You still want to go and live in this world and explore every nook and cranny of this world. And, having your blades, it's just satisfying. I don't think there's any, when we think of like this era of like combat, we all have like, you know, movies that come to our mind, and Sucker Punch is just really good at bringing that feeling alive in these games. And I think that's why, for me, I really enjoyed Yotei.
Even like the way that they pay homage to samurai cinema, you know, like all the different types of modes that you can play around with that like mimic certain, you know, filmmakers that have made like samurai movies. I thought that's always super cool. There's like a lo-fi mode too that you can play, which is so much fun. And yeah, like just they did such a good job with this game. I was really impressed. I was just as a fan of the franchise, I was happy.
Yeah, and you know, like I feel you know, like I feel like how we're talking about it, Caboose, like makes it seem like it's not as good as it is. It's just that, you know, Tsushima like was also good, and great and amazing, right? And I think Sucker Punch just knows exactly what they're doing in this genre, and they really don't have to tweak it that much. It's just really diving into another story. And I would love to see a third game as well.
I actually think that I'd rather a Sly Cooper from them in this style, but I
wouldn't be against that either. I wouldn't be against that either. I think the only thing I'm saying is that I hope that at some point down the line they revisit and just give us like a trilogy of games, 3 different protagonists, 3 different worlds to explore. But yeah, like this is the burger commercial where they make that McDonald's burger look all fancy, except that's what it is, right? Like that's the game. You know, you're free roam sometimes on your horse, and you're like, holy shit! Like how did they do that? Like
as someone who like I grew up like loving Western films, and when I started looking into the history of this, and that Western films was inspired by samurai films, what I loved about it was seeing kind of the reverse. It was like almost like a samurai inspired Western film, because it very much like even down to the music, like it felt like you were playing out a Western set in Japan, which was awesome. Like everything from the duels, the showdown, like the showdowns with the, like at the trees, like that you were doing, and those were some of my favorite parts. Was just basically just doing some of the side missions, which I know is kind of a staple for the Go series, going back to Tsushima. But there was one part of the game that I really enjoyed that I felt actually kind of emotional about. It was about this one bounty that you go on, and it has to do with music. And if you played it, you know exactly what it is. I won't spoil it fully, but by the end of that mission, I was like, it was so beautifully done, and I really like thought that was just an amazingly like little story just in this world that kind of helped flesh out this area that and the people that are in this. Like, as I tried to play Tsushima, and I enjoyed it for what it was, but I can never get fully into it. I've yet to be able to actually finish that game myself. But going into Yotei, I was a bit afraid that I wasn't going to really like it as much again. But I really fell in love with Atsu, the main character you play, and I thought, like, I don't think that basically that Atsu is like any better than Jin Sakai, but I think that I kind of put them at the same level. Like, they are very great, greatly written and greatly performed protagonists, and I thought that I enjoyed the story. Yeah, it's a little bit kind of in that PlayStation revenge storylines we've been seeing in a lot of their games, but it's
just that they makes a lot of sense for this kind of game, because
absolutely
again, this pays so much homage to samurai cinema, and that's like one of
the staples of it,
right?
yeah,
it's one of the staples, right? So
I loved it. I think I love the different styles of gameplay. This different, like, when you're switching to the different stances, which is more like you're switching to different weapons, made a lot more sense to me as compared to Tsushima. Having the dual samurai swords going out there, like, I just loved it. And like playing it on the, like, I don't know if anyone played this on a PS5 Pro, but it is so fucking gorgeous. Like, it is, every frame of that game is just extremely well done. And you could, like, what I love is like the rendering distance. Like, you can see like if you're in the top of Mount Yotei, you can see the entire valley below. Like, it's just it's so well done. And I definitely I really did like this game quite a bit too. So cool. All right. Ooh. Moving on, we're gonna have our number 2 game, which is Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
There it is.
So, Camille, you had this as your number one game. So why don't you tell us a little bit about why?
Unlike some people, I like walking on the beach. I like watching. Okay, fine, fair caboose. Okay, but no, honestly, coming from the first one and being a fan of that one, unlike some people, I just loved how it built on the whole concept of the beach and learning of like BTs and chiral creatures and understanding more of that lore and how Kojima expanded on that. But also, I think what might have been a hurdle for some people from the first one, when you start the game, you actually feel that it is more action-packed. There's more going on in this world. The combat does feel a little bit more in-depth than it did in the first one, which I think that's kind of what Death Stranding 1 was lacking for me. Mm-hmm. But it's just how beautiful this game is. Like, some of these shots and how Kojima directs it in a way where he wants you to see the beauty, how he sees it in this world, where it's when you're walking, it forces you into the wide shot right first, and then you could kind of go and continue walking and then control the camera more, and I like those moments where especially now everything's about how much you could do in a game. Well, I like how yes, we're able to do so much in this game, but then Kojima is still in the back of our head saying like, but no, look, this is what I see through my eyes. Also his craziness, like why do we have a whole dancing moment with Dollman in the middle of the game? I don't know, but I love every single moment of it. Why does Higgs have a guitar? I don't know, but I love every single moment of it. And yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't make sense, but it does. And, there are there are those poses that kind of are reminiscence to the first game, but that is very deliberate of Kojima to make callbacks to his previous games like Metal Gear, which he does multiple times in Death Stranding 2, and I just like the fact that he is so self-aware. And as a fan of Kojima in his games, I think if you're a fan, this is a game you can't miss.
Yeah, I agree. I had this as my number one as well, and echoing everything that Camille said, I think that it took virtually everything from the first game and just made it better. That span of time, that almost 5 years in between since the first one, clearly it didn't go into reinventing the wheel, but it came as a cost of making the combat more frenetic and fun. Like, it's very akin to Phantom Pain in so many ways. The combat, the traversal is way better. It's less demanding or frustrating to cross the whatever terrain you're trying to get through, making the focus more on the story, the music, the character interactions, and overall just the fun. I mean, the story in Death Stranding 2, I feel way more compelling than the first one. It's less mysterious, which is what I think the first one has is such a strength from the first one, is trying to understand what this universe is, what this world is, what the consequences is. And then if you followed along and getting to this point, this one is all just payoff for that kind of restriction and demand, the demand of the first one. So this one, I feel like, and it's so goddamn Kojima. Like Camille even brought up, like, Higgs with a guitar. Does it make sense? No, but fuck it, I'm in. I like the sequence.
I'm fighting a guy with pizzas.
I'm in one of the best boss battles, the most like elongated and masturbatory boss battles at the end, where it just goes on and on and on, and Kojima's just like, this is cinema. But I'm just there, and I'm just even the way it's shot, and like, sure, is it just Metal Gear Solid 4 again? Absolutely. But is it cooler? Yeah, I think
it's cooler. But also, Steve, to your Kojima point, right? Like, even in the first 10 minutes of the game where you're interacting with Lou and you can explore your home and you see the pictures that are pinned up, and you could keep going to the pictures and eventually like game over the game if you wanted to, based on what you do. And you know, Kojima knows that gamers will try to test, okay, you know, are you going to go to the next point the game wants you to go to, or are you going to just keep trolling and redoing it? And yeah, I trolled a little bit and I kept redoing it, and I was shocked when I got a game over screen and I was like, wait, what? Like, why did I just die before the game even started? And those are the little surprises that I think makes Kojima, yes, like a director that and just like, you know, who he is in producing games, just that figure in gaming, because he really is in tune with, sometimes in tune with, trying to get the story across to the gamer, but also trying to read the minds of the gamer, what they're going to want to do next. And he speaks to that. There's Easter eggs to it. It's like you're interacting with him, in a sense. It's just really cool throughout this whole experience of Death Stranding 2, how he was able to build, and also like the talent, you know, every time when you see the talent that he's working with, he is really bridging the gap between gaming and you know, mass
Hollywood.
media. Hollywood, right?
Hollywood, music,
the entertainment industry,
too.
like every aspect. And also, it's not him, like his musical directors, like he knows exactly what he's looking for in every aspect of game, and he found the right people to do it and execute it. And the music is just amazing.
Like the fact that you can go over like a vista and have the music cue in at the very specific moment over and over again. Like when you think that you're going to be in this elongated like stretch of land and you're like, okay, this is going to take me 15 minutes to get up this mountain and everything, but then it's like, no, actually we're going to treat you with this banging
it becomes
tune.
Cinematic because of the tune, because of how it pans out so you can see this vast landscape. It's just insane.
It's so rewarding where you go through like an insane moment through the game where you're going through all these BTs and you're fighting for your life to make sure your packages don't get messed up. And then once you get to the other side of it and you know you're home free, it's at the home stretch, you just got to get to the destination now. The game also knows that. Pulls the camera back, throws on some amazing soundtrack from like Woodkid or whoever it might be, and you're just like, wow, like all that hard work was worth it. And this is why, like, I honestly think that the first game was a little too focused on it being just cinematic, and we lost some of the, well, what's the gameplay, right? Like what's the fun in that? And I feel like this game had a lot more focus on it can be both. Like you can have these incredible cinematic film-like experiences, but also you know you're playing a video game, and that's the rewarding part out of it. You know that you went through this intense stealth mission, getting around all these BTs. You know that you had to take down all these like military enemies or whatever it might be,
or find a kangaroo,
in a wildfire, right? Like, and when you get to the other side, it rewards you with some incredible music. And then also, you know, like the one thing I will give credit to the first game for that this game does well also is that like that strand aspect, right? I'm building bridges for other people, and they're building things for me, and we're giving thumbs up to each other, and we never see each other, right? Like it's just this like you're never alone in that world. It's such a cool idea that Kojima came up with from the first game, and you know progressed it further with this game. And yeah, it's a Kojima-esque Kojima game. It's weird, but it works. It works. And what I love is, well, I kind of like that this game was not as confusing. Like there is a story and a thread to follow, and it's also rewarding to say like, because you've been paying attention, you know the payoff that's about to come, and you're excited about it, and it pays off really well. So yeah, I give my flowers to Kojima. I didn't love the first game. I thought this one was extraordinary, though. It would have been my game of the year if not for something else.
Fair.
And going back to your point about the gameplay for just a quick second, like even after credits roll, this game almost like flips the script and becomes the coziest game like from a AAA studio I've ever played. Like, like I'm vibing. I'm putting on a podcast or music in the background. I'm trying to level up my all the different shelters and everything like that. And I'm spending almost more time engaging with that aspect of the game than I did with, you know, the golden path and everything. And like, it's just as rewarding trying to get over mountains and make sure none of my luggage gets, you know, damaged or anything like that. And it becomes like a second part to the game that's just as engaging.
I started just playing BT Pokemon at one point.
Honestly,
in this game, like I was just like, I want to find the big ones and capture them, you know, like that was just that started to become this whole fun thing for me. And then it's like, oh, there's a big BT here. Bring him out, you know. Go giant BT, attack him.
I will say too.
Awesome.
I will say too, because I didn't get a chance to finish this one, but I did get at least a decent chunk in for review, and I will say, like, one of the things I think was awesome with, I think what Camille you mentioned, was definitely the casting. Like, I think that Kojima definitely has an in with Hollywood and is able to get like these amazing performers to be in his game. From like, even like, you know, Norman Reedus deserves his flowers for being the Scott Ford Bridges in this. Like he's great. Like everything, even from the new cast. Like Elle Fanning was great. I will say I grew up, like, you know, being a pastor's kid. So there's a series called The Chosen that's currently being produced, and it's about the life story of Jesus, and it's actually played by Jonathan Rumi, who plays Doll Man. So I'm basically, every time I hear him speak, I'm like, Jesus, like what the fuck? Like it's hard to separate that in my head.
Even like George Miller as Tarman, and the fact that he has this like tragic fleshed out story. Doll Man has one of the most tragic stories of everyone in the game. And then, oh my God, Luca Marinelli as Neil.
Yeah.
Every time it got to his parts of the game, it was like, I'm like that meme where I'm like playing like this and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, lean forward.
We got to lean forward and lock the hell in. It is so good. It is so good.
Perfect. Cool. All right.
And just to call it, like, you have to think. They had, like, even Norman Reedus now, when you see him doing interviews and someone has a Death Stranding 2 question, he has no idea what the story is.
Oh, I know.
Like, he has, so, like, they're bringing these performances with very minimal understanding of, like, what is happening, because, it is a convoluted story, especially more in the first one, right? But that's also just to their performances and to Kojima for directing them on these moments that are very much not connected while they're filming.
I think I love the clip.
The 10th degree.
Yeah, he's mentioned like this one interview clip of him is basically like he's talking about Kojima directing him, and Kojima goes, and
now there's a whale.
There's a whale.
What do you mean? And there's a whale, and there's a baby, and there's a thing in there, and you cry. I'm like, okay, clue.
But it's crazy how he's able to get some like Elle Fanning is incredible. Leah Seydoux is insanely good.
She's so good at this.
She's so good.
It is unbelievable that through just like minimal directing like that, there must be some secret sauce that Kojima has that these actors aren't talking about to get the kinds of performances that he does out of these actors.
Just makes me really excited for when Kojima finally gets to produce this as a film. Like, because I really want to see what this is going to be like.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Cool. All right. Moving on to our number one game.
What is it gonna be?
Expedition 33
What a
by
shocker.
Sandfall Interactive. And we had several folks have this as their number one game of the year. Sammy, Aaron, Marcel, anyone for you want to talk about this?
Sam's put on the hat.
On the hat too.
Oh,
damn.
wow.
Listen, this time next year, I will have an SKA tattoo. Like, keep me to it. It's
some days you're wee, and some days you're woo.
God.
So anyone wants to lead us off?
Sammy, you're all decked out. Go for it.
This was such a good game in every single aspect. You had the music, you had the art direction, you had the story, and like I'm just gonna talk like most people played the game because I think everyone has played the game here.
Right, Riley has not.
Riley has not.
Okay, well, there's this part.
Out of here,
It's part of the narrative. You're just like you should
download
have
it,
seen coming, but like it's such a beautiful story, and even just the story behind the game's creation of like this small group of people leaving all of their AAA games to like make something with passion, finding some dude on SoundCloud who produced like the best soundtrack ever.
Turning to Reddit for voice actors.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even just the performances, obviously you have like Andy Serkis playing Renoir, which is amazing. And then you got, just AAA voice actors. You got Ben Starr, you got Jennifer English, who won the award this year. Thank God, because she should have won it for Shadowheart 2. But I have so much hours in this game, and I'm going to be putting more. And I just fell in love with the story, fell in love with Gustav, fell in love with Ciel. There's just so many aspects in this just like delicious story. And yeah, it makes me really happy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for a game that's about the art and the canvas and the painting, it's like, man, what a work of art this game is. It's so creative. And it's got so many like bold ideas that are like things you've just never seen before, which is I'm not a turn-based guy at all. I do not like turn-based games. I was never even really interested in playing this for that reason. And I was so late to the party. But it was just one of these things where I was looking for a game to play. And I was like, everyone says this is game of the year. I'll give it a try. And then like, I think it's from the moment you get off the boat, if you know what I'm talking about. I was like, oh shit.
Yep, lock in.
Okay. I sat forward and I pretty much didn't sit back for the rest of the story. It's incredible performances, beautiful design. It's one of these games where like I almost feel bad for Death Stranding 2, because if it weren't for this, Death Stranding 2 probably wins best soundtrack.
Easily.
If it weren't for this, Death Stranding 2 probably wins best game direction. Like there are so many things that this game kind of swoops in and basically like steals everyone's hearts. And like the characters and their arcs and the stories behind every character, it's unbelievable. And it also has this effect too where it's like you think the game's over and then it keeps going, and there's just so much to it that the sheer amount of content in there as well is amazing. It's also like there's parts of it that's so charming and like funny, like like the gesturals and all this. I love it. And obviously SK is the GOAT. He's my MVP. Well, I'd love a glass of wine from that dude one day. This is unequivocally the game of the year. It might be one of the best games of the last 5 or so years, and will absolutely be one of these games like a Red Dead Redemption 2 or a God of War 2018, where years and years and years from now people are going to be like, yeah, that is one of the best games ever made.
How did you feel about the combat? If you played, I know I played on like, we'll say medium mode. My husband played on hardcore mode, but some of the bosses would be like, Artie's going to hit you. Artie's gonna hit you.
I know they're like, and I'm like, Perry, what are you guys do your attack, man?
That's actually something I want to bring, because of course for me it was difficult to be able to play this. I'm still playing through it. I'm about I think about maybe halfway to 3/4 of the way through Act 2. Yeah. But one of the things that I appreciated within this game was that it was a little bit more forgiving in games that have like a parry and dodge mechanic, because it allows you to, if you are a little too early in either dodging or parrying, you have the ability to be able to do it again and potentially either just dodge or or parry, or just do a perfect dodge and parry, which was really cool. And I did appreciate that as someone who doesn't have the best reaction time.
Depending on when that parry or that dodge comes out, like the recovery on it, I will say, is probably a lot more forgiving than other turn-based titles.
Yes.
And like that, the parrying and the dodging for me was a big reason why I got so into the combat, because there was like, it was addicting to learn the enemy pattern, and then get all those parries down to the point where now you do a counterattack on the last parry. It was like, oh, it feels so good, you know? Yeah. And then like just the RPG elements, creating these insane builds where you can like one-shot bosses, going up against some of these insane like end game level boss battles where like you're barely doing damage, but you stick through it. Next thing you know, it's a 30-minute fight. You're at the very end. You brought in your reserve team. It's just, there's so much to this game. I really,
with the picto part as well, you could have them like, if someone has like, oh, if I get hit or something like that, I will regen. And you can actually level those stuff
apply
up,
that to everybody.
Apply it to everyone else as well.
But then depending on what bosses you're fighting, that could
bosses
like
you're
also,
fighting as well. Yeah.
I when you were mentioning, Aaron, about like the 30-minute boss, I remember one point because I've been playing it on my Xbox Ally X, and I remember at one point I was in it, like in the kind of that big fight that happens. I won't spoil it, but like near the beginning of Act 2, and that one I was playing it, and it was like 15 minutes of like trying to be able to get this fight. It was only about halfway, and then I started like I started running out of battery. Like I was like 10% left. So I literally went into my office because that's where I had the plug in, and it was on my shelf. So I literally had to stand while I had it plugged in, just so I could be able to finish it. I'm rocking back and forth. I'm like pacing just to try to be able to get this boss fight to finish, and it was probably one of the most satisfying. That's when it, I think, finally clicked for me. I was like, okay, I get this. I'm understanding it, and like I was in it kind of all the way through, because the end of Act 1 was when it sold me, but like it was that fight that sold me on the combat for sure. Yeah,
and sometimes like it would be like this much health bar, and you'll be like, yes, this is the final hit, it's over, and then suddenly it's like, why is there a cutscene? Why is he
yes? Oh God! Second phase, like no.
As someone, I think the most recent in the group to have played and beat it. I agree with like so many of what everyone's saying, especially Aaron. For someone who, I do not like turn-based RPGs. They've never really spoken to me, with like very odd exception. But I think it was coming into this and having such a great narrative, great voice acting, music was astronomical. The only thing to me was towards the latter half, I think I started feeling like they overproduced too much of this game, where I feel like in terms of like getting to Act 3, I was like, I'm not completely sold on what Act 3 is without getting into spoilers and everything. The Picto system, I think, was a little over encumbered in my opinion.
It's like, overwhelming because you never know what to choose.
Oh, here's a system on a system on a system. And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to engage with this. But then, like Aaron was saying, if you kind of do the research, you can kind of build some insane builds. But it's one of those things where I had to seek out that information on my own without the game kind of explaining that. And then I think one of the biggest things that like I had to kind of like relearn how to ride a bike almost was the parry system in this game, because coming from someone from like Elden Ring or Sekiro, nothing comes down to the visuals. And even like what you're saying about like, oh, they're giving windows and everything. Sure, but there are some bullshit bosses at the end of this game. And I'm like, are you like your
audio cues throwing you off?
Exactly. Like there's one in particular that I'm just like, no, fuck you. Like, why are you doing this to me? It's so it's maddening. But
does the boss's name start with an S?
Absolutely.
It does. Oh, screw that boss. That's so annoying. That's all I gotta say. There's one thing I gotta say about that, Bill, because being a game of like the arts of with painting, and like it's like if you're watching an opera show in a way. The tempo will change, and when the music tempo changes, so will the boss's patterns, and that's why like something you're like, oh, I've seen this attack before. You're like, how am I getting hit? I memorized the rhythm. Is because the tempo picked up, and so does the boss's tempo as well. So there's a lot of like things you gotta like pick up on with the games, but like there are some bullshit moments though.
I mean that one asshole in particular who swings once, and then there's a second swing that you can barely see coming through. It's just
something's flying at you. Like, it's great.
There's a few.
So that was one of the bosses where I was like, and I will say, like, this is just me as an RPG player. I am not often like I don't make the best builds. I'm more just like someone out there understands this stuff way better. Tell me how to do it. Like when I play Destiny, I'm the same way. Like, show me the good stuff. I will put that on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I followed some guides.
Understanding some of the characters as a whole of like what, like CL for instance, I was like, I don't even understand how you play, but someone out there will teach me. and I'll learn.
Yeah.
It's so
I just
funny
knew
to
to feel
see
dark, and
people
that's
build.
it. She did a ton of damage. Like
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
one I figured out was Mel
managed-
because defense and the different stance. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
I managed to get through like the base game on just what I was trying to build and what I was trying to do, but the end game bosses were where I was like, I need to look up the proper builds for these guys.
And that's what I'm afraid of,
idea.
because I haven't got to that point yet, and I'm still trying to be able to just understand like the Picto system and all that. Because my main like crew right now is well, actually that may be spoilers. Never mind. It basically I'm like
time out. Riley's like
I'm like, well, I don't even know what the names are.
It's like
I don't know anything.
I'm trying to figure it. I'm trying to figure it out, and I think I'm starting to understand at least a little bit of each kind of character sort of builds and what they basically bring to the table. But it's just there are definitely times where I'm like, I don't want to not get rid of this party member. So like, do I like? But it's also like I don't know. Is this party member like the best optimal build like of this 3-person party, or is it better to have like these? Like I'm thinking like narratively, and I'm like also thinking like combat wise. I'm like I don't know. I still don't know what to do. I'm afraid to be able to get into the end game because I'm like I don't know what the heck I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be so frustrated. That's my big worry.
And that's where the Pictos do come into play to help you, because you do have people who will be on the reserves. And their abilities will be able to carry over to your main team. And to be honest with you, I did not figure out Pictos until literally Act 3. Someone like I was streaming the last part. They're like, "Oh, you haven't upgraded any of your Pictos." I'm like, "Bro, I don't even know what this thing is. I'm just here
my weapons and my character
for the best of my life."
Builds,
you know?
Yeah, I've been upgrading my weapons and my character builds, but I didn't even think about upgrading my Pictos. So I don't know.
You could definitely,
the game doesn't tell you.
It doesn't tell you.
No,
it does not tell you. Yeah.
It took me the longest time to figure out how to even change clothes. Like it's just this stupid dialogue, like little button to be able to change like that of your character.
The game has so many great ideas, and honestly, by the end of it, I was like, oh, this game is going to have the best equivalent to like an Assassin's Creed 2, where it's like, now we get to refine everything. Now we get to take away everything that didn't work with this game. Yep. We get to refine the combat. We get to refine, all these mechanics and systems and everything, and come out with an even stronger game, which I'm very, very excited about because, for being this small of a team, for being this ambitious, to even really understand that they knew that they were onto something special to sell off the film rights and everything like that. Like they clearly are very confident with this even before it came out. So I'm really happy with this being, game of the year. I think that it deserves all its flowers.
It's like, listen, making a game is hard. Making a good game is very hard.
Yes.
Making a good game with a new studio and a guy you found on SoundCloud to do the soundtrack, and the writer is someone who was originally a free hire voice actor you found on Reddit, is like, this shouldn't even be a real video game that released, let alone be nearly as good as it is. So it's one of those things where it's just, you factor everything in, and it's like, you just can't not say that it deserves its spot as number one.
Yeah.
And all this music has been like my top music other than K-pop Demon
Spotify rap.
On my list.
That's been a good soundtrack.
Dude, Monoko's theme, like the jazziest. It is too good for this game. It has no business being here, and I love it.
Even that damn boss we can't name, that track.
The music there is I mean, spoiler alert, it's what they performed at the Game Awards. Unbelievable stuff. Yeah.
Like again, think about that. Going from SoundCloud to being able to perform it at the Game Awards. Like that's just not done in this industry.
It's unbelievable.
And I have to say, the male vocalist in most of the songs, Victor Borba, he's from Ottawa. So Canadian.
There we go.
Canadian game wins.
All right. And hey, we got a tie for number one, by the way.
What?
We have Donkey Kong.
Get angry.
And I'm making the decision because I'm the one who was counting all the points. So here's what happened points wise. I have to kind of go a bit behind the scenes. So literally Death Stranding and Expedition 33 and Donkey Kong Bonanza were separated by 1 point. and it was legitimately Donkey Kong Bonanza and Expedition 33 were tied. But I'm declaring Donkey Kong Bonanza as our official game of the year because it's the only game that every single one of us had on their list. So
Riley didn't have Expedition. He didn't play it.
That's not true at all.
Riley,
Steve, you have to revoke that. I didn't have it on my list.
Get out of here!
I didn't have it on my list. No.
Yeah, hold on.
This is out.
What? Recap.
Is Riley the only one who didn't have Expedition?
This is a hoax. This is a Republican hoax.
Oh no, sorry. Okay, never mind. It was on literally on every single position on the list from 1 to 5. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Okay.
I misread that. It was on every single position. It was so yeah. Basically, Expedition 33. 3 of you had it on your number 1, and 1 of you had your number 2. There was 1 person had it on number 1. 2 people at number 2. 1 at number 3. 1 at number 4. 1 at number 5. But the one who had it as his number 1 on the list was Riley.
It was
so
me.
Riley, why don't you talk a little bit about?
It was me, Austin. It was me all along.
So Riley, why don't you talk about how you hated the demo? Go ahead.
So I also hated the Breath of the Wild demo, and I didn't hate it. It just didn't demo well, but I knew it would be great, and obviously it's great because it's our game of the year. So I just want to say
he's right. You know what though? I second. We talked about how the demo was kind of flat. Like it just kind of it didn't get to the point where you're like,
it let you like dip.
We all did, but Caboose, be honest,
right? Like it wasn't enough.
None of you saw. None of you saw what I did.
But like, I just what I love about it is like it's obviously from the Odyssey team or sect of the Mario Odyssey team.
Yeah,
and they've created. Yeah. They've essentially relaunched Donkey Kong for Nintendo, and they've done it like masterfully by leaning into the past, like going through the levels. There's so many nods to every single level has a nod to something, and the cool thing about that is like there's a massive payoff in the end game that goes back and honors the entirety of the history of this character and this franchise from. The arcade era to the Rareware era to even a little bit Tropical Freeze, kind of the retro studio, a little less there. But as someone who's like followed the Donkey Kong franchise, like everything hits. So it's like, okay, this is awesome. And then you get into the voxel tech, which is really impressive on the hardware. You're able to tunnel through the entire map, plenty of collectibles, hours and hours and hours to just explore and do whatever you want. I think Nintendo just knocked it out of the park, so I had to make it my number 1.
I mean, I don't disagree. This is like you're right. It totally reinvents Donkey Kong. It kind of reintroduces it for a lot of people, or even introduces it for a lot of younger fans who are just kind of getting into this for the first time. It's the perfect game. Like it's one of those games where you're like, thank God they released it this year. It really validates owning a Switch 2. Sure. Whereas I not that I didn't like Mario Kart World, it's just one of those things where I was like, we all said it, like when the Switch 2 came out, we were like, I don't know if you should get one right now. And now with this game, it's one of those things where I'm like, it makes sense. Between this, Mario Kart World, you have more than enough justification to own a Switch 2 at this point. And yeah, it is just a really, really great game. Just super fun. Like a lot of charm to it, the visuals and just the playfulness of it all. And as well, just the way that you can like explore all of these maps and the things that you can do. Just want to dig straight down forever. Like go ahead, and there's always like something waiting for you, some little bit of gold that you can find, or maybe you find a little hidden chest somewhere. Like it is awesome for it to have that level of like exploration. And I don't knock anybody that's putting this on their game of the year list or at their number 1, because it totally deserves to be there.
I remember at the experience, the type of experience that all of us went to. I remember I just started digging down just for the hell of it, and I remember the guy Nintendo rep is like, "I've never seen anyone do this before." Because you can just play the game how you want. Like, eventually, yes, you have an end goal, but like how you get there, you can build your own tunnel if you wanted to. Just ignore the enemies, just keep punching and collecting gold. It was truly amazing game with a lot of surprises. That's for sure. So.
Yeah, talk about the surprises. Like, yeah, if you're a fan of Donkey Kong and you've been waiting for a Donkey Kong revival, this is that game for you. Yeah. Like, there's so many surprises, like Riley was saying, that just, like, pays homage to, like, Donkey Kong past. And to Riley's point again, I didn't really get that all of that would come in this game from what I was seeing from the marketing material and from the demo itself. It just seemed like, okay, he's bashing everything. This is kind of like gimmicky in a sense, but it goes so much more in depth than just that. And I think that's just a delightful surprise. Like, I never thought this game would be as good as it is. It had no business being as good as it was, and I'm so happy it is that good. And even with the spectrum of, like, how, in-depth the gameplay goes, or in-depth to lore that it goes, for my nephew who's watching me play this, I can actually pass the controller to him and he could play. And, although he's still discovering his love for video games and understanding all the mechanics of video games, it's easy enough for him to get the bashing everything is what attracts him to the game. So you could play it if you with other family members, which, that's what Nintendo wants, right? They want you to be playing with your family. They want you to, their titles to speak to new and older fans. So I love this game. It's so good. I was about to get mad.
Layers?
It has layers. I was about to get mad. I thought this was not on the list. I was going to call you guys out, but I'm happy it's here.
Yeah, I think for me it was like, because I grew up, my first introduction was Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo and that whole series, and I really like enjoyed that. My brother and I remember us playing that like constantly from the first one. I think probably the second one, Diddy Kong's Quest, was probably our absolute favorite in our family, but we really did enjoy it, and to be able to see that now. That like I would love to be able to see another set of games like basically using this kind of like story and lore, like having Pauline in there as a new sort of a character within the DK world is great. I think that was an awesome sort of mechanic in there, because it's great. Again, it's like that. It's for kids and for adults, because you can have basically a kid get out control of Pauline, and like they get to have fun while you get to kind of do more of the more mechanical sort of gameplay stuff. I thought it was great. Again, you can just sort of just smash your way down the several layers. Like it's great. I think it really like revolutionized the Donkey Kong franchise, as Riley, as you said, and I totally agree with that. And I can't wait to be able to show this to my nephews. They just got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas this year. They actually have my old I'm passing my Switch down, my Nintendo Switch OLED down to them. So and they've been playing Mario Kart, and my eldest nephew is getting really good at it. So we're gonna see how well he does, and I can't wait to be able to show him Donkey Kong Bonanza when he gets a Switch 2 at some point. So but yeah, no, I think
if he gets too good at Mario Kart and you have game share, you could just kick him out and be like, sorry buddy, connection lost, nothing happened. Yeah.
He isn't playing World just yet. He's on Donkey Kong 8 Deluxe, so seeing how he does with that. Any other comments about Bonanza?
I'll just kind of echo what you guys were saying. It was such a nostalgic game for me. I grew up watching my mom play Donkey Kong Country, DK64, and this was like a reverse. I sat there playing and she watched me.
It made me feel old there.
I mean, it's how I got introduced to Nintendo and these characters, and it was such a charming and fun playthrough. I love the Pauline dynamic. I love the music, and even just the throwback. We get a little bit of the old school music too, so that made me really happy.
Okay, who had the DK rap in their resting points every time? I never changed the soundtrack. It was literally DK rap and never left. Yeah.
No. I still know all the words.
There you go.
It's that and the polka rap. I mean, those live rent free in my head.
Sure. That's right.
I took the holiday break to finish this game up, and I think honestly, I really screwed myself over when I started playing this game by having I have to do everything in every level mentality of going.
100% completionist. Yeah,
and like it to a certain point, like I got up to sub level 700, and at a certain point, I was like, there's too much in this game.
Bit of burnout,
kind of burned out. and then after some motivational talks from Riley, he was like, no, like
they were more like threats.
They were, yeah, but like really motivational.
That's why I didn't get it on your list.
Yeah,
that is spite.
Not necessarily spite, but I completed it over the course of like 2 days. I just kind of like locked in. I mainlined it. I didn't really worry about the extras and everything. I was like, oh, okay. For someone like me who does play a ton of games, this is a way better approach to how to play Donkey Kong Bonanza. Is like just mainline it, interact with some of the side content if you really want to, and don't necessarily get lost in the weeds of the collect-a-thon unless you want to. And yeah, by the time I got to the end of this, I was like, holy hell, this is a special game. And that last, I would say hour and a half, I was like, oh, Nintendo really cooked with this one.
It's got probably the best end game of any Nintendo game ever, I would say. Like, it was
I couldn't argue with that. No,
there's so much stuff happening that I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Cool. Well, that is our official list. I will say,
what? Who's there? Who's that little guy there?
Subscribe for more.
Who's that little guy?
I just noticed.
You forgot the Walmart.ca.
I had to do it. I had to include them twice. So good, you had to include it twice.
Thanks, so if you put him next to one of the standees, he would have blended in.
Yeah, he's hitting the Luigi.
You should have put him in there twice.
I know. I should have. Yeah, that was my bad. But so here's some interesting fun facts. So basically, so Expedition 33 and Donkey Kong Bonanza had a total of 19 points overall. Like I said, Donkey Kong filled in every single slot from 1 to 5 out of everyone's list, except for Steve, as you did point out. I did not notice. I thought it was everybody had in their list, but 6 out of 7. We'll take it. 6, 7. But also, the difference between Death Stranding 2 becoming number 1 was, like I said, 1 point. It had 18 points total, and then this is where the drop off basically happened, because after that, the next runner-up, which was Ghost of Yotei, had 8 points.
Oh wow!
And then the rest basically had 6. So with our 4 Wonder Stop, Arc Raiders, and Doom the Dark Ages had 6, and Split Fiction and South of Midnight had 5. If it wasn't for the fact that Steve, when you submit, you had I would say honorable mentions were Hollow Knight Silk Song and Mario Kart World, because they were our original number 5 until basically Steve put in Hell Is Us. He had Silk Song twice in his list.
Had to cheat the system here.
It was an honest mistake.
It was an honest mistake. Yes, it was. Yeah. And also, if it wasn't for the fact that because I quadruple checked a lot of these numbers, and I misplaced one number for Ghost of Yotei, being like it originally had 6 points, but it actually has 8, so that's what bumped it up to number 3, which then pushed everything else down. So Silk Song and Mario Kart World would have been tied for 5th, and then we would have had basically several ties for 4th and 3rd, and then 2nd and 1st. So
technically, how many games were in our top 5?
There were 16 total.
No, but so we had a couple of ties. So how many games in total?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We actually had 10.
Oh wow! Okay,
10 games in the top 5.
Yep.
Yeah. So 10 games. Yeah. So there we go. Awesome. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, sorry, 9. I'm blind moment today. So 9. So, this is where I wanted to bring up, like, if we want to be able to change the point system for next year, if we want to do maybe our top 10. I don't know if that's something that's doable for all of us, but if we want to do that, we can totally work on that. But then we probably have to do this episode for like 3-4 hours at a certain point. But anyway, that is and then the other games that were nominated from folks, we had Date Everything on the list. We had Avowed. Surprisingly, one game that I actually was surprised personally that only made one of our lists, and it was because of me, was Blueprints. With that going to Game of the Year, I thought that some of you might have might have had it in there, but that was in there. And then, like I said, Silk Song, Mario Kart World, Hell Is Us, and Power Wash Simulator 2.
I knew it. I knew
it. He was going to put it on there. That's a Steve vote, isn't it?
It was 100% a Steve vote.
Yep, Power Wash Simulator 2, but you didn't put Donkey Kong Bonanza on there. You're crazy.
Fuck no.
You're nuts. You're a nutter, man.
Power Wash Simulator 2 is a great game. We're eating well this year.
Does anyone want me to go through their top 5 list, like what you all submitted, or are we good? Like, are we good?
I think we got it.
Okay.
I just remember, especially for like 4 and 5, I was having some trouble being like, oh God, like which games am I putting here? Because there's like so many.
I was the same way too. Like definitely that 3, 4, 5 was a hard one for me to be able to put through, because I again it was very interesting to do this first and then seeing everyone else's submissions come in and seeing some of the patterns of what everyone's like put into what and what games were all nominated. I was like, okay, this is going to be a very interesting list this year. So and even going back to previous years, we only had, if I remember correctly, we like for our first year we had a solid number like 5. There was not any ties whatsoever, because our number 1 game for that year was Spider-Man 2. Then we did Alan Wake 2, Tears of the Kingdom, Hi-Fi Rush, Baldur's Gate 3. In 2024 we had Balatro, Pokemon, and Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Then we had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Helldivers 2, and then the top 3 were Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, Indiana Jones: Great Circle, and Astrobot. We have never had a tie for first place before, so this is our first one with this year. So anyway, that's some fun little honorable mentions and some fun facts of this year. But that is our Game of the Year top 5 list.
Thank you for putting it together.
Thank
you.
So to recap, we have tied for 5. We have South of Midnight, Split Fiction. Tied for 4th, we have Doom: The Dark Ages, Arc Raiders, and Wonderstop. And number 3 is Ghost of Yotei. Number 2 is Death Stranding 2. And our number 1 tied is Expedition 33 and Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, banana. Steve, what's going on for you for the rest of the week? 26.
Actually, I have an idea. Instead of saying what he's doing, because frankly, it's none of your business.
Oh, that's right.
Why don't we have like a prediction for the new year?
Got it. You get one prediction.
Yeah, you get one gaming prediction for the new year.
Okay.
Man, now you just put me on the spot. Thanks, Riley.
Riley goes first then. Just let Riley
Riley goes first.
You go first,
right? My prediction for 2026 is that we will get a return of Banjo-Kazooie.
It's
happening.
You're putting it out there, huh?
I don't think it'll release, but they'll announce it.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Riley has been saying this every year, so we're gonna hope for the best.
Poor fool.
We're gonna hope for the best.
And on top of that, for just because that's a perpetual one for me, I think we're gonna get Smash Brothers Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Yes,
that's a good one.
Okay.
For 2026, we are going to get a Zelda game announced.
Oh,
and I'm gonna even up that and say we will get a remake to Ocarina.
Love it.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
Which what style of Zelda, the new one? Like cell shaded or 3D?
Okay, Marcel, this isn't 21 questions.
That was literally 2 questions.
I don't want to go deeper because that's my prediction. If I go deeper, it's too specific.
New Zelda and an Ocarina of Time remake.
I'm gonna say
3D.
a Blade trailer next year.
Okay, I like it.
Now we're talking.
It was already announced. They didn't really show for title.
But like a gameplay.
No, like an
but
actual
they've
game.
just a teaser of a trailer. So
Speaking of Blade, anyone know Jordan Peele? MCU, anyways. Okay.
You know? Okay, I'll go. Since we're on the Marvel train a little bit, I'm gonna go a couple predictions. Number 1, I think Venom game. We maybe get like some sort of an official talk about it. Right. Number 2, this isn't really game announcement related. I think that when we play Wolverine, it might end up being the best Insomniac Marvel game.
Ooh. Wow.
Okay. Wow.
I like that.
Right.
When is it coming out, Caboose? Which month?
I pray sometime long before GTA 6.
I would
for its sake and my back catalog.
I think they're praying for the same thing. They're praying.
You know what? For my prediction, Caboose, I don't think GTA 6 is coming out this year.
All right. Okay.
You know what? That's a fair one. That's a fair one.
Coming out. Help out your Wolverine. It's coming out 2027.
Okay. My prediction, I think, is we're finally going to see what Sony Santa Monica has been working on all this time. Like their next big project, not like a side project that they've been kind of, like whether it's the potential like God of War 2D. I want to see what their next big game is.
What do you think it is?
I think it's Corey's whatever sci-fi game that has been rumors about. New IP. Okay. Yeah.
Mine's going to be a bit of a bummer one, but I think the whole RAM situation is going to fuck the entire industry.
Oh yeah, we're not getting new hardware.
January 1st. January 1st.
Other than Steam Machine, that's the only new hardware we're getting.
Everyone buy all your consoles, buy every single thing now.
I've been thinking about this for a while, but I honestly think that 2026 will be like the first year in which the pendulum swings back from PC gaming to consoles. Being like,
you think so?
Really? Okay.
You know what though? I think
RAM
because
is going
of
to
the price of RAM and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think that's really Steam Machine. People are going to be looking at Steam Machine.
Yeah,
on the price.
I think they're going to be looking at like more like not high end hardware, like high end PCs, but like kind of that middle of the road, like basically what handhelds have been kind of doing. Like they put out good performance, but not like the highest graphics. And I think we're going to see a lot more like Steam Machine like kind of experiences where it's just like, okay, it does the job essentially.
Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot of games that you just require like a 30 or even 2080 graphics cards because VRAM is a problem right now. And that's why Sony and Xbox are delaying their stuff forever. So, it'd be quite interesting to see all the reserves. And we'll see.
Marcel, did you say what your
GTA is getting canceled?
It's delayed. Okay.
Yeah, it's canceled.
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry guys.
It's over.
It's not coming out.
It's not coming out. It's not coming out.
It's not real.
RAM to play the game. Sorry.
Here's a question. Kind of, we're talking about predictions. Do we, as a gaming podcast, maybe want to do a fantasy league for next year?
For predictions.
Well, not just predictions, for
reviews,
games.
You mean, or
for games? Like we pick our roster of games, and kind of like I've been sort of inspired by Kind of Funny because they've been doing a fantasy league, where basically like there's a whole website you can set it up where you pick games at the beginning of the year of what you think's coming out, and basically if it gets a review score on OpenCritic of above a 70. That's when you start getting points, and the more games you have in that, then the more points you have at the end of the year, and potentially could win the entire league.
So you have to predict games coming up.
Well, basically games that you talk about, you build a roster of games that are coming out or potentially could come out,
and like which games you think will perform the best. I like the idea.
Exactly, yeah. Like someone could lock in GTA 6 if they're the first pick or whatever.
Who's stealing Wolverine?
But you don't steal, you can trade. But the good thing is that kind of make it a little bit balanced.
Do we do a random draw for it?
I think it'd be a random draw. We can do a random draw, but then what we could do is that everyone has to have a.
Who's not happy?
But here's the thing: everyone gets a counter pick. So the way it could work is that basically like you decide on one of someone else's game that you think is not going to do well, and you get to steal the points if they do poorly. Like it's a whole like. But if it does do well, it comes out and
offline.
Yeah, that's an offline conversation.
There's offline. Yeah. But I just want to throw it out there as a potential idea.
I'm into it.
Cool. I'm down.
2026, we start fighting. All right. Well,
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone. Yeah. Thank you so much for an awesome episode, and we'll see you in 2026. Bye.
Bye.